She came to America in 1988 to study in graduate school. Today she has her own business and relishes in the freedom, independence, and prosperity she found in America. She loves her new country and travels frequently throughout the States to share the story of her American dream. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Lee Tango.
你好。你好。Oh, not bad. How many of you have been to China? The most recent one, which year was that?
2019.
Wow, right before the lockdown? Ooh, lucky. Is America becoming China?
Yes.
Well, Dennis said, very sexy topic. I even brought you very sexy Chinese fan from my girlfriend doing video and wear a sexy Chinese dress, which was banned during Mao's Cultural Revolution. I like to wear it now because I can every day if I want to. So for some of you who don't know me, my real Chinese name, secret, okay? But my real name now, after I become American citizen by choice, is Lily Rong Williams. It's very long. So I came to this country 1988, right before you all know the famous 1989 Tiananmen Square massacre, which was a banned word in China today on internet. You cannot even request your phone number to be June 4th, okay? 1989, June 4th, magical, banned, forbidden word. So, to let you know what my life was like, I'm sure most of you know about the horrors of communism, the horrors of Mao, the mass murderers regime, and his campaign against all the Chinese culture and civilization called the proletarian, the great proletarian cultural revolution. Young people in this country don't know how many people died under Mao, how many people starved to death under Mao. I can summarize to you about my life in communist PRC. Just imagine, everything's free, right? That's what our kids say. Yes, Bernie, everything's free. I'm telling you, it's probably biggest lie you will ever hear. Mao promised peasants same thing. Land, give back to the people, free education. Even intellectuals have a freedom of speech, academic freedom. Well, after 1949, really nothing can. Nothing can. Instead, he started the Great Land Reform. Got millions landlords killed, seized their property. The peasants started formalized people's commune, central planning, growing food. So when I was born, 2 years before the Cultural Revolution, to a working class poor, a real proletarian, a working class illiterate parents, workers, I would say workers, because they are at the bottom of the food chain inside the city. They're slightly better than the peasants, 70% of China's population in the countryside. So we got this community housing, it was free, but would you like to live there? You're welcome. It's 8 families, share 1 bathroom. And you have 1 water faucet. 1 running water come out, 1 washer faucet. When everybody has to cook and clean, you stand in line. When water runs out, or too bad, you just cannot have water. And we live in a 2-room apartment, gave to my dad from his employer, we call the work union. That means everybody is guaranteed a job, like Bernie Sanders said. But what kind of job and what kind of living condition, right? You work for the state 6 days a week. You cannot keep your family fit. So, guess you what? You just got to be hungry. That's my childhood memory. Hunger, hunger, my stomach is growling. And my uncle told me how to trap rats. But very soon, rats run out. Not much bone anyway, but when your stomach is growling, suck on the rat meat and bone still very satisfying. But they ran out too. Like people today in Venezuela, dogs, cats, birds all run out. Doesn't matter if you have a doctorate degree or not. You are equally poor and hungry. So when Mao started Cultural Revolution, I had no idea about China's history, about his campaigns in the past. I just knew I was hungry. And by the time I went to school, and I can trade my beautiful fan as little red mouse book. You go to school 6 days a week, talk about communist indoctrination. Every day you go to school, you chant, "Long live Chiang Mai-Mao, long live Communist Party, 10,000 years, another 10,000 years." If you chant that for 5 straight years, do you have a brain left? You are capable of critical thinking? No, I never even thought about it. Is he human or not? I grew up thinking Mao was God. That's how brainwashed I was. Also because my parents were poor working class, they were not educated. They did not know anything about God or human or science, nothing. Nothing. We just all supposed to chant, 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 even though we were starving. We were told Taiwanese people were suffering. All of you imperial Americans were suffering. And you were bad guys, capitalists, bloodsuckers. That's what we're told. Hate Americans. We were even told not to smile like Americans. Don't smile like ugly Americans. So sad. You don't see Americans have faces nowadays, especially last year, right? No faces. I was so sad to see. Now nobody, even Americans, can smile. I don't know who is who behind that mask. And like I said, personal freedom did not exist. Economical freedom, everything owned by the state. So as young people, you trade your personal freedom. Hair like mine, past shoulder, is banned. If you have a crush on little boy and girls in middle school, high school, ban dating. If you want to sing love songs, it's called a rotten music. Okay? You want to look sexy, pretty, has a body curve, girls, have a lipstick on? No. That's a capitalist lifestyle. Banned. So you become like a robot. You don't know what the word is like. Every day is like, yes, sir, yes, Mao, yes, teacher. Then you write diaries every night. Well, I was raised a child. Mao divided people into oppressed and oppressor. Sounds familiar in today's America? And the 5 red classes under oppressed group. And the 5 black classes, that means tell you, rightists, influencers, rich farmers, landlords, are the oppressor groups. It's all about the class. So he separated Chinese into 2 big classes and 2 big groups and 10 classes. And we're supposed to hate. I was a red child. I got to hate black children. In terms of classes, not skin. But it's the same game you play. You got to hate. How do they divide people to fight against each other if you don't instill hatred into your brain as a child? Then you learn, report on each other, report on your parents. During the Cultural Revolution, my grandmother went through struggle sessions. Every day stand up there for a year, somebody poke you in your back. She married to somebody who was a leader of the Sichuan village, outlaw leader. They thought he was a counter-revolutionary, but he was killed by his own men. So because my grandmother's former dead husband, she had to go through struggling sessions for a year during the Cultural Revolution to confess. I confess. Sorry about my dead husband. Sounds familiar and crazy. So all the Red Guards were shut down schools and follow Mao, used as really pawns, so-called useful idiots by Lenin, by communist leader, to follow Mao and to treat him basically like a god. And after Mao used them, sent to the countryside. And I have friends who were black class families in schools. They can never wear red scarf, become Red Guards, and they have to keep their head down. Whenever we say, remember, keep your face up, like this. Okay, this is what happened during the Mao's Cultural Revolution. You saw that last year in America. Say it. You got to be, actively anti your enemies. Otherwise, you're not PC. So they make you cannot even keep silent. So if you are a black child, your grandparents were rich landlords, you have to come out to denounce your families. You have to say, I'm going to change my name, I'm going to draw the line with my families so that I can be red child, I can be the red class. I went through that crazy time. By the time Mao is dead, I was 12 years old and had a little bit brain left to say, who lied to me? Who lied to my generation, my parents' generation? So when Mao died, the schools reopened, especially the colleges. I wanted to search for truth. So I want to go to best university in China and study law. Second, when humans become like a godlike, the society suffers because humans are not trustworthy. They have flaws. They want the power. So I wanted to transform China into a society, rule of law. Well, I went to college. I was told the law purpose is not about justice. It's about the tool, use this tool to govern the masses. That's the Communist Party's legal system. So I got lost again. What should I do now? And I heard this country called America by communicating with a foreign student, American student. And there is Declaration of Independence. So the light bulbs came on, and I started to plan my escape. So finally, when they get a permission, remember in China, even today, since the day you were born, you are subject to state control. Your parents have to register you in the local police station. When you become student, you have student file called later become personnel file. When you get a job, they follow you until you die. So you are told where you live, where you can travel to, which school you can go to. I'm not talking about Mao's Cultural Revolution. I'm talking about today. China, supposed to be the second largest economy. Then everything is on your cell phone to track you. Cash does not exist anymore in China. Everywhere you go, even peasants were getting a mobile phone. Oh, it's pretty cheap, a few hundred yuan, you can buy one. So every financial transaction is on your cell phone, connected with your cell phone number. And if you do something illegal or bad, guess what? Everybody knows, the government knows. How many of you heard China's social credit system? Good. You're a very informed audience. Lots of people out there don't know. That's why they don't recognize what's coming to the Western world countries and coming to America. So there's a point system. They learned from Americans' credit system, but for financial mortgages and loans. Then they developed that into social credit system, basically built on the household registration system in China since PRC and the personnel system since PRC to track every person. Somebody yesterday asked me, what if I just buy a land? I live off the grid. Oh, try that in China. Good luck. Communist Party block committee is in every neighborhood, every block. How can you hide? There's no place to hide. I have a friend who just came out as a political refugee 2 years ago. He went to jail for 7 years in China because he told the truth about June 4th. He was a political prisoner, but they used other economical crimes to arrest him, no trial. 1 hour, 2,000 people, public meeting. He's guilty, go to jail 7 years. He said he could not stay in China because his families were at risk. His families were recruited to watch him every day when he lived with them. So he said, I don't want to risk my family's lives and jobs, but they are tracking me. How sad is that? So he had to escape to America. So that social credit system is just a lot worse. Use a big technology, big tech, and big tech equipment. There were over 300 million facial recognition cameras at all the public places. And if you go to China, go through custom, your face will be scanned. Doesn't matter which passport you hold. And so they can track you very fast. So that's why I haven't been to China since 2015. So I come to this country because I was so brainwashed. Guess what? It took me 20 years of my life, since 24, to wake up in this country. I was then 44 years old. And I feel like, oh, I'm a kind of independent thinker now. And that's when I was exposed to libertarianism. And it's like a free market, Austrian economics. How come I never heard those kind of solutions before? I started to read about, free to choose. And, of course, Agnes shrugged. It's like, wow, my whole life was a lie. I did not know Mao central planning policy starved those people to death in the late 50s until I come to this country. So if we allow government schools to indoctrinate children, take lifetime to wake up, I'm an example of that. That's why we got to think about something to do with education. Keep your children close. They don't belong to the state. So when I wake up, I just thought, oh, I need to learn about American politics. How come there are lots of things going on? Did not sound right to me. Same rhetoric I heard in China, a bigger, more authoritarian government. So I started to get active after 2008. I ran for office. I got involved in HOA, my charter school board, and become even chairwoman, and fired the first principal under my watch. I feel so empowered. As a young citizen of this country by choice, I took my every freedom right seriously, not for granted. And I tried to warn Americans for years, ever since I ran for office in 2016 in Colorado for U.S. Senate. As libertarian candidate, of course, I was kept out of debate. I could not go national TV because I was third party, but my name was on the ballot. Ever since that race, I got lots of practice, just speaking around, educate people. And I found out, I know what's going on. I saw what's going on in the country. Remind me of what happened in China, in other socialist countries. But lots of Americans don't know. But I have completely failed in the past 4 years to educate people. Because look at what happened last year. One magic virus from Wuhan lab basically shut down the world economy. All the Western democracy countries, I thought, for freedom, wow, they all took after China hardcore shutdown models. We have so many masters over us. And then where are the Americans that I thought were gave me liberty or gave me death, like Henry, right? Patrick Henry. Where were they last year? I saw 100,000 people protest in London, protest in Berlin, and I was just at home and just so worried. Where are the Americans? How come I even don't see a few thousands go protest peacefully? And churches were closed, schools were shut down, small business compliant, only big companies were open. And the worst is that you can be outside, fresh air, sunshine, don't wear a mask. Then you get harassed, maybe arrested and tased. It's not just in the United States, it's in Australia, it's in UK, it's in Canada. I feel like the world has totally gone insane in front of my eyes. I could not sleep last year, especially after the whole summer long time. At the beginning, I thought the peaceful protest after Floyd's death, I support that. I thought, hey, it's time to talk about real reform. But then, things changed. I did not see peaceful protests anymore. It was violence, looting, riots. And it's the founders come out to say, we are trained Marxists. Who trained you? Who founded your training? Who are your organizations? How long you have been training? And then you have 1,000 public health officials come out to say, we support those people. They don't have the social distancing, they don't have to wear masks because they were not a public health threat. It's like, are you kidding me? This virus has color? This virus is political? Of course I know it's political because I listened to Chinese Mandarin news weekly from China. Some of the stuff from China. I was always suspicious about Chinese government. They use the virus, weaken the economy of the world, and interfere with U.S. elections, and crash down Hong Kong, and threaten Taiwan. So their own people, Chinese people are very nice people. I'm sure you all feel that way when you go to China. Hospitable, peace-loving, but they are passive. You know why they're passive? I just told you, their whole family is trapped. If one person becomes dissident, your entire family, maybe your 30 relatives, are at risk. Who is there to do that to their own loved ones? Unless you escape, you cut them out, come to the West. Secondly, 1.4 billion Chinese people cannot buy guns, cannot own guns. Even a toy gun can get you into jail. A killer knife can get you into jail. I was told when I was young, if somebody breaks in our house, just go to grab my kitchen choppers. You know, those Chinese cooking, boom, chop a big bone down, use those as your weapon. So people, 1.4 billion Chinese, in the second largest economy, I'm not sure it is, but then they have no freedom. But then they were brainwashed, propagandized every day. Just look at today's campaign. What is today's campaign? It's China Dream. It's Xi Jinping, our new spiritual leader to Tibetans, to Buddhists in Xinjiang. If you go to mainland, you only go to the places they allow you to go. You have the special permit to go to Tibet, to go to see Uyghurs concentration camps. No, you can never see it as a reporter. They deny it. It's not happening. So it's good through the COVID, we see people waking up to see what's going on and to see why we have world leaders, US politicians, and those people are pushing for Chinese-style lockdown on their citizens. If your government tells you stay home, you're going to stay home? Well, in China, at least they bar your apartment gate. You cannot get out. I saw this funny video. A dog go out, pick up Chinese food delivery. Smart dog. Yeah, and bring food back. But they bar the doors. But the American self-censorship, complying, obey, live in fear, every day bought into mainstream media, fear-mongering, and politicians' talking points and rhetoric. It's like even my own Chinese families are very afraid. My other Chinese friends are very afraid to wear masks outside. I just wonder, what are they reading, what are they listening? And I'm not. So I have to point out to them, don't listen to those. Shut that down. Go try to listen to something else. Now you know how dangerous it is. Besides our educational indoctrination camps, then you have a big tech social media, not just indoctrinate children, probably indoctrinate to brainwash half the Americans. Half the Americans. And now critical race theory condemn you, half the Americans who are white. You are white racist. You are born racist. Sounds familiar? You need to apologize for your white ancestors? Hey, I'm a people of color, so I'm oppressed. Oh my God, I'm so happy in this country. I'm not oppressed at all. And I'm married to a white racist husband. That means my half white children are racist. So I took a lot of risk to come to this country. I didn't care because I gained freedom. I came here with $100 in my pocket. I did not speak English. I was $1,200 in debt. Did I complain? Did I sit on my butt and oppressed? I did not even speak English. I had to work as RA in graduate school. And I had to save money, make my every penny stretches. I have to study English every day with little pocket book and pocket dictionary to check out how do you pronounce vinegar, how do you spell vinegar. I have to constantly make me I put all the responsibility on my own shoulder to achieve American dream. But the people who were born in this country want to be oppressed and blame something else, never blame themselves, never took the initiative. But that's why those elitist politicians, communist leaders, socialist leaders want you to believe that. Want you to believe that. Play victim. You're oppressed. So we need to bring everybody down to be with you and to feel sorry for you. You're not competent to make your own decisions. And then when the aging Americans in New Hampshire got organized, people even say, oh, aging Americans in New Hampshire, we are supposed to be the largest minority in the state, 3%. But we're supposed to be oppressed. We're supposed to all vote for Biden. We're supposed to all be Democrats. That's what they want you to say. When our signs for Trump got destroyed, and some people said, is this Republican tactic? They pretend there is an aging American group. I had to go out to say, somebody please talk to me, interview me. I'm real. Let's have coffee. Even though you're a Democrat leader, BLM leader, I'm real. Come meet with me. Come meet with me. Lots of Americans, especially our youth, they don't understand how evil the ideology of communist socialism is. They think it sounds wonderful, free stuff, justice, equity. How do you really have equity when you don't use government to redistribute wealth? Equity is a Marxist term. Our kids don't know that. I recognize that because I've heard that all the time. Public good is also a socialist term. But my Democrat friends use it all the time for public good, for public health. Wear a mask, take the vaccine. Otherwise, you're killing my family members. You're selfish. I love freedom. I was accused to be selfish. I was accused to be a right-wing conspiracist. And I could be called white supremacist someday. Because I'm married to my white husband. Is that crazy? But our people bought into that. I feel so sad in this country. I was terrified last year, even this year, what's going on? Especially after January 6th. I have a Chinese guy, went to Capitol. And he come home, post a picture. He said, I don't understand. I was called domestic tourist in Tiananmen Square when I protest peacefully. And then my student went to Hong Kong protest called domestic tourist in Hong Kong. And now I'm in my dream country, America, go to a peaceful rally. Well, he did not go inside, he did not do anything. He was called again domestic tourist. He said, I'm totally confused. Is this still America? Should I go back to China? Yeah. And the Vietnamese guy did not know anything, wandered into Capitol, take a picture. His face got caught. He lost his 6 digits income, annual salary job. And the bank trying to cancel his loans and mortgages. People are really suffering. Are you scared when you get canceled, when you get banned? I got a fact check. I get a fact check by talking about CCP in China. Who is more expert than somebody who lived there for 24 years? So talk about CCP infiltration of our society. I'm sure you all know Confucius Institute came to this country in 2004, okay? And all over the Western country work. Lots of money spent. They are part of the Ministry of Department, Education, budget to fund that. Oh, people were just like, oh, they teach language and culture. And I've been telling people that. Then when you talk about United Front, how many of you know China's propaganda department called United Front? And the other one, Google it. Lots of you even don't know. United Front Department is a part of China's Communist Party propaganda big team. But they are directed to everybody. Basically, now, all over the world, not inside of China. And they give money to our press, maybe to some candidates, indirectly, to schools, to professors, and who else? Social media companies. You don't know. We need to be aware. They have been infiltrating for years. When you say, oh, is United States, they think I'm a fear-mongering. We're not China. We are not yet. But I'm scared to death. My last nightmare is to live in America, supposed to be land of the free, home the brave. Then someday, we're going to lose it to the Communist Party all over the world. And the world will be a very dark place. That's why I'm very loud. I'm very loud. On my watch, I'm not going to make that happen. I moved to New Hampshire from Colorado 2 years ago or 18 months ago in order to be activist, to keep the spirit of New Hampshire, be free or die as a truly model. And if you think about it, where is home? If you're looking, freedom is home. Weather in the winter here sucks a little bit, but hey, if you're focused internally, if you focus on local culture, local policies, local government, the weather, it's exterior. It's not that important. You'll be busy. I guarantee you the government always keep you very busy fighting for your freedom. Especially during the winter months. It's a legislative session from January to June. There's plenty for you to do. Ready the bill, testify, support, fighting, running for office. Now go to school board meetings. It's #1 for the parents, for the liberty activists. For years, I have been complaining our schools, our school board, all the local government were controlled by another side. We'll be there working, bringing food to the table, running our business. I'm an entrepreneur myself, working from home. We are busy, we're taxpayers. How good does it do when you become a billionaire like Jack Ma? The Communist Party can make you disappear for a few weeks and force you to pay fine and force you to sell out your company. Basically, he's not in control of his company anymore. There's more than 1 billionaire like him. Similar story happened because our new leader wants China to become more socialist economy. get rid of more and more private company. A private company, even the foreign law firm in China, if you have 100 employees, guess what? You are required to allow Communist Party committee to march into site to supervise UPC. You have to accept that. Even the labor union in China, we don't have an independent labor unions because it's one-party rule. If you are still liberal thinking, if you have a communist utopian workers rule, watch the movie Red. Watch the movie Red. An idealistic New York Times journalist died in Russia, buried in Russia for his cause. Before he died, he woke up. He just wanted to come home to his wife in the US. The party boss told him, no, you belong here. You belong to the party. You belong to the cause. That's what happens when you believe that kind of evil ideology sounds good. You end up to be always not belong yourself. You don't know where you will be. You belong to the party. And party is always right. Like 1984. I read that book when I come to this country. You know, I said, John, my husband John said, I said, it's so much like China. But now we have become more and more like that. You know, forced mask, vaccine, tracking, shutdowns. And I just wish, I don't know if Ian Smith, the gym owner, is here this time or not. I just think we should have millions of American restaurant gym owners like him. Keep that door open, open, open. We have rights, like what I heard in China. We are created equal. Doesn't matter your skin color, your gender, your sex. Doesn't matter. I don't judge people on their color. I judge by their character. I always say hi first to see if you're a decent person or you are another side, you know. I don't want to say the bad word. I'm still learning how to cuss in English. I can cuss in Chinese, though. But, so, we are pretty equal, but are we? We have tyrants ruling over us. We have the masters, globalists, want to rule us some more. And we got shut down. Can I even say goodbye to our loved ones who die in the hospital, die in nursing homes? And they go to vacations. They go to salons. They go to French Laundry. No social distance, no mask. They play political theater, just like the Communist Party officials do. They have everything they wanted behind the doors, but they want to buy into their talking points, their narratives. How stupid can people get? I hope by me talking like this, you go out, tell 20 people, each person tell 10, 20 people. Wake up! Wake up, Americans! Of course, I'm preaching to the choir to you. I just want you to come to New Hampshire. But other people out there, lots of Democrats are good people. I have lots of friends are Democrats. And they follow me on my Facebook page, Lily for Liberty. They still ask questions. But I start to notice, they start to share more and more my posts. Because I'm not partisan, I'm not about party, I'm about liberty, about a free country. So if you like my messages, please share with people, especially people in the middle, undeclared, or even Democrats. Share my stories, follow me on Lady for Liberty Facebook page. And I have YouTube, Lady Tang Williams. Have lots of English videos. I even put some school classroom and teaching there. And I hope to go to classrooms if they let me to talk to the kids, put the freedom seeds into their mind earlier. And contact me from Lady for Liberty, my Facebook page. And because my personal one is maximum. Mark Zuckerberg told me, okay, I only have 5,000 friends. So I only have 5,000. But I have YouTube, I have Twitter, same, Lady for Liberty Twitter. And if you're a podcast, you're a media guy, you want to spread freedom messages from an immigrant point of view, let me know. And I'm ready to do whatever I can to save this country from becoming the country I left. Thank you very much.